What's up, Gamecock Nation? It's your boy Gamecock Russ, and today we're going to be giving out the 2026 preseason report cards for the whole Gamecock coaching staff. Yeah, buddy, let's go. Up first, we got on the D-line coach Travian Robertson, and I'm going to give him a B+. That D-line has been pretty good these last couple seasons, and I think they could be really good next year as well. So, off the potential of what they could be on top of what they've done, I'm giving Coach Travion Robertson a B+, and it wouldn't surprise me if he gets up into that A minus range this coming season, but we will see. But I have a lot of high hopes for him, and I'm excited for what he's got going on the D-line. And up next, we got Coach Dion Barnes, the defensive end / outside linebacker coach. And just like Travion Robertson, I'm going to give him a B+. He had a lot of potential, did a lot of good things at Penn State. He kind of fits that Sterling Lucas mold in the sense of young, very talented, could step in and become a superstar at the position. And that's why I'm going with a B+ for him. And next, we got the GOAT, Torian Gray of the DBs. I gave him an A. It was so hard not to give him an A+. I feel like he's an A+. But I went with an A because I'm curious to see what he's going to do this year with some new faces in the secondary. Definitely a safety. But if there's a guy you want leading that group, it's a guy like Torian Gray. He gets them in the NFL, and he gets them producing. So definitely an A for me. And to wrap up the defensive side of the ball, you've got the head man himself, Clayton White, who the first couple years, until he started getting his guys in, was kind of rough. But the last couple years, like 2 years and the final 4 games of the year before that, he's really pretty much turned it on. And if you had a more consistent offense the last year, that defense would have looked even better last year, and they were still not far off from their previous year numbers. But I'm going to give Coach Clayton White an A. Have a lot of high hopes for him again this year, and I think South Carolina will continue to be one of those teams that is near the top in the country, near the top of the SEC in interceptions and forced turnovers, things like that. And I believe this year we're going to get to the quarterback a little more. But for the defensive staff, Trevor Robinson, just to recap, B+. Dion Barnes, I'm giving a B+. Torian Gray, an A. Clayton White, an A. And honestly, next year, if things go the way I'm envisioning them, everyone on that staff could end up in an A. But, it's gonna take having people healthy and all things like that. So pretty good grades, I'd say, for the defensive side of the ball. Now on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to go with the offensive line coach, Randy Clemens, coming into his first season at South Carolina, taking over an offensive line that has pretty much been at the bottom of the barrel the last 3, 4, 5 years, and sacks allowed and, getting tackles for loss, and just one of the worst O-lines statistically in the country. But he's one of those guys that has a proven track record of producing really good O-lines, really good offensive line players going to the NFL. So hopefully that continues here at South Carolina. So he's got a big opportunity to cement his name as a really good O-line coach. And I'm going to start out by giving him a B. I feel like that could be higher, but we're going to see what you're really made of at a school like South Carolina. Really excited for him in the O-line. But yeah, we're going to go with a B to start out with that. Up next, we got tight end, and that's Sean Elliott, who, in my opinion, is an amazing O-line coach. So I feel like over the course of his time here, the tight ends are getting a little better at blocking, and that's not by accident. But I'm excited for Coach Elliott, so being out of position, in my opinion, I'm going to give him a B. I feel like that's fair. Some people will probably, maybe a tight end coach, drop that down a little, or who knows, maybe I'm lowballing it. But I love Sean Elliott, love the energy, love that he loves the University of South Carolina. So we're gonna ride with a B for Sean Elliott, which means next we got Mike Furrey at wide receivers coach, who he stepped into a mess down the stretch calling the offense, but I think he did some good things. I wasn't saying, hey, he needs to be the new OC, but compared to what Shula was doing and what Furry did, such a small amount of time, the numbers were a little bit up. Not perfect, not anything to raise a banner over, but for what he's done, he's had some guys step up, like looking at Nick Harbor the last couple of years, looking at Dre Jacobs had his best year at South Carolina last year. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give Mike Furrey a B as well. Whether you agree or not, that's on you. I feel like that could be a questionable one there for some folks. I feel like a B is fair. I think he has the potential to climb up into that A range, maybe an A minus. This year is going to be pretty big for him. And we're going to go to running back, and that's Stan Drayton, who has a long history of producing really good running backs. And I feel like South Carolina has a nice little rotation this year. And I feel like between Randy Clemens coming in and Stan Drayton, the run game should be a little better. And then Sean Elliott was also, he's one of the run game coordinators. So I'm expecting to see better things out of the run game along with the pass game. And so I'm gonna give Stan Drayton a B plus. Obviously, it's like for the guys that weren't here last year, this is just going off of potential. But I feel like the running game with the running backs could be a lot better in 26 than it was in 25. So I'm gonna ride with a B plus for Stan Drayton, which brings us to the new man calling the offensive plays, Kendall Briles, who, if you watched one of my previous videos, I said something along the lines of, this is the best OC Shane Beamer has hired at South Carolina, and I still stand with that. I think Kendall Briles is going to be the difference in 4-8 season and a season where you could potentially push for the playoffs. My early record prediction video, I said South Carolina was going to go 9-3, and for them to do something like that, you need Kendall Briles to dial it up on offense, help out the defensive staff by not letting their guys get gassed late in games to where they start giving up yards and touchdowns. You also have to put up yards and touchdowns, and I believe Kendall Briles is going to do that. So with that being said, I'm giving Kendall Briles an A minus, and that's off of the potential of most of his seasons as an OC. He's been pretty well, better than what South Carolina has been. So I'm gonna ride with an A minus, which brings us to two coaches left. We're gonna do the special teams coach Matthew Smiley, recently just hired the other day. I've seen a lot of back and forth on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. It's Twitter to me. Not a lot of people are excited about this hire, and from the numbers I've seen, I'm not in the camp of I'm excited. So I'm going with a C plus, but I feel like this could be a better hire than we're feeling right here coming into the spring. I could. I'm hoping for the best. I don't know what to really expect. So we're gonna that's a wait and see. But for right now, it's a C plus for me. And to end things off, we're going with the head man in charge, Shane Beamer, who took over a really down in the dumps program, and we've had some highs under him. Last year we were expecting playoffs and we went 4-8. So that dampens what I would have given him if we say we won 8 or 9 games last year. But overall, I gotta go the B minus, but I can see the case for like a C plus right here, maybe just a C. But I think he gets the team back on track this year. Hopefully he can push that grade up to an A after the season. But yeah, just to recap, offensive coaching staff, we're giving Randy Clements a B, Sean Elliott a B, Mike Furrey a B, Stan Drayton a B plus, Kendall Briles an A minus, Matthew Smiley a C plus. And the head man, Shane Beamer, we're going with a B minus. But I think those grades could either obviously go up, go down. Hopefully they all go up. Hopefully we just have a great season. But thank y'all for hanging out, listening, liking, subscribing, all that fun stuff. It's always amazing. Y'all are the best. This fan base is the best. This program, we may not win all the national championships or anything like that, but it's just, I love this program, man. And I want to see us win. And I want to see us win big. And I believe we have everything it takes to do it. But with that said, thank you so much. Y'all the best. Go Gamecocks.